Welcome into Titan Game Day morning live from Indianapolis, Indiana. Hope everybody's having a great start to their day back in Nashville, Tennessee, or wherever it is that you're consuming us this morning. Game day morning, we're going to go through the three keys to the Titans having success here at Indianapolis today. Their first divisional opponent of the season, a particularly contentious one, as is always the case with the Titans and Colts matchups, and what should be a fun game today. We're going to go through what I think the three keys to success will be. I'll certainly ask you guys for your keys. We'll do a best bet, and we'll get on with our morning and get ready for this game. Before we get rolling, I need you guys on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch to share this show. If you're hanging out on Twitter, please retweet the show in the bottom right-hand corner of your screen. If you are on YouTube or on Twitch, please subscribe to the channel. Throw a like on the video if you would be so kind, and we would appreciate that. If you're on Facebook Live like Justin Tomaselli or Xavier Cohen, you can share now to public in the bottom left-hand corner of your screen, and your Facebook friends can join us in our Titan Game Day morning conversation. Justin says, let's continue this streak against the Colts. We need it. It's going to be rough stopping Taylor. Well, you know, it's been about as hard stopping Jonathan Taylor as it has been stopping Derrick Henry this season, which is ironic to say. It's not been very hard to stop either of them this season, but we'll talk about it throughout the course of this evening's matchup. I already asked you to share the show, so let's go ahead and start. Welcome into Titan Game Day morning, presented by Two Rivers Ford. That's where you go for the best possible car buying experience. Two Rivers Ford in Mount Juliet or online at tworiversford.com. The Ashton Real Estate Group of RE/MAX Advantage is where you go for your dream address without the stress. The Intel edge you need to succeed has you covered at GaryAshton.com. And of course, Superbook Sports, where you can go to wager on all the action this football season and all year round. Superbook.com for terms and conditions. So, you guys know how this works. Key to success. I need one from you. I'm going to give you three, but you need to provide me with the biggest key that you think it will take for the Titans to be successful today. The situation is the Colts are 4-point favorites right now as the home team. They're pretty evenly matched. I was honestly surprised to see it be more than 3, but it is going to be a game where one of these two teams has to kind of start to reestablish their identity, has to finally come out and show themselves to be capable of what we think they are, either Derrick Henry or Jonathan Taylor. Both teams have had difficulties running the football. So what's your biggest key for the Titans to have success today? I will start with my first one for you, and that is the situation for the pass rush. They have to consistently continue to get pressure on Matt Ryan. The offensive line has not been good. You would hate, if you were a Titans fan, to see the offensive line get right against your team. Now, the good news is Bud Dupree and Ola Adeni are expected to be available after missing week 3 against the Las Vegas Raiders. And Matt Ryan is somebody who has been blitzed quite a frequent amount so far. In fact, this is a stat from Paul Kaharski. The Colts have faced a blitz 20% of the time this season. It's the second highest in the NFL. Because Matt Ryan looks like a scared old man back there, and they're trying to get after him. His offensive line has not been able to keep him upright, and they have not done well run blocking either. Consistent pressure, both with 4-man pressures and with additional blitzers, get to Matt Ryan early and often, disrupt their game plan, because this is a team, much like the Titans, that if you get them behind the chains, they are going to struggle, which brings up the second and third keys to success. Play calling, says John Vargas. I'll be specific. Smart play calling, I've done enough about this. I don't want to sound like a broken record. I don't want to be in reruns, and we don't have enough time because the game day morning show is shorter than the primetime show. Your play calling is not the issue. Play calling is not the problem. Todd Downing has been completely fine. I think it's complete nonsense what's going on throughout the course of the season. People are still holding the 3rd-and-1 chig call against him. That's fine if you want to do that. Seems like a miserable way to exist rather than to appreciate a kick-ass game plan that I thought Todd put together last week. And frankly, the players didn't execute well in the second half. Thought Ryan Tannehill missed Traylon Burks wide open in the third quarter on a critical drive. The interception, of course. There was the 3rd and 1 where they gave it to Derrick Henry, like you all bitched at Todd for not doing the last time. Gave it to Derrick Henry, lost 3 yards. You go for it on 4th and 3. Ryan Tannehill gets hit because your offensive line is not very good. The pass is behind Traylon Burks. Traylon Burks has to kind of make a funky move to try and catch the ball, drops the ball, on and on it goes. Smart play calling has not been the issue. Downing has not been the issue. I think that needs to be put to rest. But I'll give you the other 2 keys to the game here in just a second, right after I remind you that Two Rivers Ford is where you go for great guarantees on your next new vehicle. If you custom order a 2023 model year Ford Explorer, like I drive, the Bronco Sport, the Escape, the F-150, the Mustang Mach-E, Two Rivers Ford will give you a great locked-in 2.9% APR interest rate with $500 bonus cash on your next purchase. They go above and beyond to make sure you can shop the way that you want to shop. Two Rivers Ford in Mount Juliet or online at tworiversford.com. So, Chris Lawson says, please no new guys starting who nobody has never heard of. Well, that's probably going to be a situation today. It's not quite a key to the game, but it does bring up an interesting point. Now, I don't know if Nate Davis, as we sit here at, what is it? It's 8:15 back at home, 9:15 here in Indianapolis. That's where we are. I had to think about it for a second. But there was a practice squad, or rather they added Jordan Ruse to the active roster and cut Julius Chestnut yesterday. Now, I don't know that Ruse is going to be up on the 53. All I know is that Nate Davis missed a day of practice on Thursday, came back as a full participant on Friday, wasn't listed as questionable, so you would think that your offensive line situation is going to be whole. But I know who definitely will not play today. That's Zach Cunningham, who hasn't really been great, and Amani Hooker, who has been great. Amani Hooker has a concussion. Zach Cunningham still dealing with a wrist injury. That means Joe Schobert and either Andrew Adams, who many of you are probably looking at me and saying, who? Or Theo Jackson, who was called up from the practice squad yesterday as a game day elevation. No Josh Gordon in this game. They decided to leave him on the practice squad. They're not playing him anyway, so why the hell do you need Josh Gordon? But Theo Jackson or Andrew Adams will be in the Amani Hooker role today, and that is going to be an interesting situation. Ugo Amadi is also not going to play, which probably means more Terrence Mitchell. I think that the coverage busts is a problem. And it's been a problem across the league. Guys make plays all over the place. Offenses make plays too. It's not just defensives giving up coverage busts, although there has been a few busts in the Titans secondary, some of it due to pressure or lack thereof, some of it due to just simple mistakes, like against the Giants. Christian Fulton, who was spectacular against the Raiders, just got caught looking in the backfield. Let Sterling Sharp run behind him for a 65-yard touchdown. So you can't have that today. Weston Rohde asks the question, are they sitting Caleb Farley again today? Now, I don't know definitively. So if Caleb ends up playing, I think it's still going to be Terrence Mitchell. I really do. I don't have any information on that. I haven't reported that out. I don't know it to be a discernible fact, but I really do think that Terrence Mitchell has a better chance of starting on the outside than Caleb Farley does today. I could be wrong. He could have had a great week of practice. Mike could have looked at it and said, yeah, go get him, bud. But based on what we've seen, nothing really has changed with Caleb Farley's situation. So I would anticipate the Terrence Mitchell experience yet again. Now, the third key to the game, no coverage busts, get a pass rush, the offensive line reestablishing the line of scrimmage, not just in the first half, but in the second half as well. They have not yet been able to close teams out with their rushing attack. That is a problem. I'm going to explain what I mean by that here in just a second. And in fact, you're going to hear from Greg Cosell on this matter, or rather Mike Vrabel on this matter momentarily, right after I remind you that the Ashton Real Estate Group of RE/MAX Advantage is where you go for the Intel Edge. We're doing Titans Intel this morning. Gary's got you for real estate intel in the Middle Tennessee area. The official real estate agent of the Nashville Predators and a diehard Titans fan is Gary Ashton. His team got me my dream address without the stress over 3 years ago. They can do the same for you. Give them the opportunity to do and win with that intel edge at GaryAshton.com. So, reestablishing the line of scrimmage and explosive plays in the rushing attack, because that's what they're really built to do, and Derek hasn't done it just yet. Now, he had a 24-yarder last week. Thought he looked more like Derrick Henry last week. Thought the blocking was better, but I didn't think it was overwhelmingly better. I think that's kind of my biggest takeaway, because when we asked Mike Vrabel about it, he was both complimentary of the Colts defense and saying, well, we don't really scheme up 75-yard touchdown runs like that.
You're getting closer to one of those long runs by Derrick Henry?
Well, I mean, I think some of that is just going to be, you don't draw them up thinking that they're going to be 75-yarders. We've had some runs that were really close. We've had some really good official runs that had one that got us down to the 1-yard line. We broke through. We've gotten on the safety a couple times. So confident that if we can continue to do some things that we were doing, the other day, that'll be a challenge. This is a great defense, fast. They run the football. It hasn't been easy to run the football on them. So, we'll have to it'll be great this week.
You mentioned how good of a defense it is. Colts coming in with third best rush defense. You mentioned they're fast up front. What are some of the challenges they bring?
Well, they're athletic. I mean, they have a very consistent scheme. I think that they don't really. It's not like they're trying to trick you. They play a bunch of guys up front. Buckner and Stewart are the leaders in there that they can move. They can stay in their gap. They can play with their hands. They do a lot of different things. The edge guys are active and fast in a tough matchup, and then. Just really inside, the linebackers are fast. They tackle. It's gonna be critical that we try to get on them. If you don't put a hat on them, they'll be there and most likely trying to hammer the football out.
So that's Mike Vrabel this week talking about the rushing attack of the Titans that is yet to yield the kind of explosive plays that we're used to, and the situation for the Colts defense, which will, provided there are no setbacks in the pregame, have Shaq, a.k.a. Darius Leonard, starting in his season debut today. Now, the question becomes, and information we still have yet to have, we will have it by the time we do the Lee Company Countdown to Kickoff, because you guys know I've got an hour of Titans radio pregame right after this, starting at 9 a.m. local, 10 a.m. Eastern, where Indianapolis currently resides. And we will know more about DeForest Buckner by then. Right now, DeForest Buckner's status is still a question mark. Although, in the same way that the Titans did elevate Joe Schobert and Theo Jackson from the practice squad for game day elevations, the Colts did the same with an interior defensive lineman. And Buckner, his status is very uncertain right now. The last time the Titans played the Colts without DeForest Buckner, Derrick Henry went crazy. It was the COVID year up here at Indy. I think Autry was also missing too. Those are two really, really important pieces for a defensive line to not have. But certainly Buckner is as important as any of them. And it really is a situation where the Titans, if they're looking to make progress on a run defense that hasn't allowed it, an absence of Buckner would give them the best possible opportunity to do so. So those are the three keys to success. Pressure Matt Ryan, no explosive plays allowed, and reset the line of scrimmage with the offensive line, both in the first half and the second half, because that's how you're built to close out the games. So let's do a best bet, and let's wrap this up for Titan Game Day morning. Our best bets, as always, are presented by Superbook Sports. That's where you go for the best possible odds, for great odds boosts, for all kinds of opportunities, for lines for every game of the rest of the NFL season, not just week 4. If you're betting today, you still have time to get your bets in on the London game that's about to kick off in like 8 minutes between the Vikings and the Saints. You can bet the Titans plus the 4, which is not my best bet this week. The Titans plus the 4 against the Colts today, all in the Superbook Sports app. They will match your first bet up to $1,000, whether the bet wins or loses. Superbook Sports is where you go for the best experience. Superbook.com for terms and conditions. Gambling problem? Call the Tennessee Red Line, 1-800-889-9789. So, looking at the circumstance for the Titans and these best bets today, +4 for the Titans does seem like one that makes sense. I don't know necessarily that it's my best bet, though. The over-under, though, last I looked on the Superbook Sports app, which was about an hour ago, for Derrick Henry is over or under 85 rushing yards for Derrick Henry in this game. I am inclined to bet the under, which of course means that Derrick will go crazy. I would wait to place that bet, though, until you know whether DeForest Buckner is going to play. You should know that by 10:30 local time because the inactives will be available to you by then. So I think Derrick Henry under the 85 rushing yards against the third best rushing defense in the sport makes sense. I also think that I would recommend waiting until Buckner is either declared in or out for you to make that wager, because if he's out, I'd probably take the over on that. That's going to do it for us for Titan Game Day morning from Indianapolis. Going to be on the radio here in about 35 minutes with Blaine Bishop, Titans legend, and the legend unto his own right, Mickey Ryan, on 104.5 The Zone. They'll be on from 9 to 11. I'm going to do 9 to 10 with them before I head over to the stadium. It'll be a great time. We hope to catch you there. And certainly prime time from Lucas Oil, which is about less 0.4 from my hotel room as we sit here right now. We'll do the primetime show live, remember, at 7 p.m. Central Time, because we are on Eastern Time. So be ready for an early primetime show. Have a great rest of your day. Enjoy the football, and we'll see what happens. We'll talk to you guys tonight.